We had a nice lunch. We walked away, and my mom left the lunch feeling really good, really happy. She even said it was such a nice lunch and it was so nice to see her sister. And, so I guess that if that's all that comes out of this, then great. That was the important part, that my mom felt good about it, that she left the luncheon happy. And what else could I ask for? Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in. Hiya, hi everybody. This is Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories, and we're going to talk about the results of the lunch with my aunt. The last episode, I talked about how my aunt, out of the blue, contacted me, said she wanted to have lunch with my mom, and it was the first time in 11 years that we had seen her. There was just a recap. There was a fight with my mom and my aunt after my grandmother passed away, and over the years, as much as my mom tried to put out an olive branch and reach out to her sister, it just wasn't working. And they just haven't seen each other. And you get the regular texted Merry Christmas, those kinds of things, but nothing really deep or significant. And then my aunt texted me a while back saying she wanted to have lunch with my mom. She was coming in town because my cousin, her daughter, was having business here in Dallas and she wanted to tag along and see my mom, which made me really nervous because I had so many feelings about the situation. So, because it was really important for my mom to see her sister, because who knows, this could have been the last time that they see each other. I wanted to make sure that we met with my aunt, had lunch, that it went well, that my mom felt good about it afterwards. So we did it. We went and had lunch with my aunt and my cousin Jenny. And in all honesty, it was fine. Um, my mom was having a good day, which was great, which is what I wanted. Um, I made sure she looked good, put a little makeup on her, made sure she had a nice outfit on. I wanted her to look the best she could for my aunt because, like I said, the last time my aunt saw my mom in person was 11 years ago, and there has been a lot of changes. So I don't know how she felt about seeing my mom. I can't answer any of those questions because since the lunch, we haven't spoken. Um, but it was in some ways like an awkward date. Um, it was the hi, how's it going? Very superficial lunch kind of conversations. Um, and it was just hard. It was, I wanted mom to have a good lunch, like I said, but it was just awkward because I personally had so many feelings about seeing my aunt and my cousin because I was hurt myself. I was hurt for my mom. And there were things I wanted to say, but I was being an adult and I wasn't going to be petty and I was going to have a good time. But I was prepared for something to happen if my aunt or my cousin had said anything to my mom, that I was going to stop the lunch right then and there and say, thank you very much for coming, but we're done with this lunch and walk away. Luckily, that did not happen. And so we had just like I said, the surface lunch. And it was just a little awkward, which is really sad because it's family. It shouldn't be awkward. You should have a great time, but we just don't have anything in common. I don't know anything really going on in their lives. They, I don't, my cousin got married and my mother and I were not invited. So I don't even know my cousin's new last name. Just through the conversation, she made a comment about her husband. So now I know his first name is Brian. And so that's what I know about him. I don't know what he does. And I found out that my aunt's grandsons are really into baseball. Okay, great. Um, So they asked things about me, what's going on with my family. I told them. Um, Mom really wanted to talk about family and things in the past because she really misses having the people in her life to say the remember wins. And her sister's one of those only people left in her life to be able to do that with. And so I know that's what she really wanted. And we didn't get a lot of that. I think had we had more time or it wasn't just a lunch, they might have been able to get into that. And that would have really made my mom's day, but it didn't happen. And I felt really bad about that. We had, like I said, I joked with my husband. I said, well, it was kind of like an awkward date that you met at lunchtime and you didn't even get a glass of wine or dessert. So we met, we had entrees, we had water, and you even had those awkward pauses where my aunt looked out the window and even said one time, like, oh, wow, it's really windy outside because we just didn't have anything to talk about. Um, so that's just kind of how it went. And then when it was done, I got my mom in the car. They brought my mom a box of her favorite chocolates from what used to be Marshall Fields. And so she got a box of Frango mints. So she was happy about that. I was very pleased that they brought that for her because they're really hard to get here in Texas. Um, and that is just a piece of her childhood and home that she just doesn't get on a regular basis. So that was really kind. Um, and then we just said goodbye and they walked away. That was it. There was no follow up texts saying, thank you so much. It was so nice to see your mom. Or there was nothing that said, we'd love to get together again. Maybe the next time Jenny comes in town for business, we could get together or you could get together with her. There was just none of that. And I'm okay with it. I guess that's the thing is I'm okay with that because like I said before, I had already decided to close the door on the relationship with my aunt. I had already decided to not be angry anymore because it was not doing me any good. It just made me sad. And anytime it was brought up, I would just cry. And so I was just done. And so this luncheon allowed me to say, I've made the right choice for me, that we are finished and we're done with this relationship. And if things happen in the family, I really hope that she would text me or call me to let me know what's going on if something should happen or good or bad. It does, she surprisingly texted me about a family member who was in a really bad accident. Um, and that's really scary. He's the son of my mom's cousin. And, but yet again, it was very much the text of, I wanted your mom to know that this person had a really bad accident, is in a coma, and I thought she should know. That was kind of the end of it. There was no follow up with the opportunity to say thank you. And it was so good to see you. Now, in honesty, I can not respond or know what my aunt is thinking. She could be thinking the same things I'm saying right now. She could be saying, "Why didn't they follow up with us? Why didn't they um, text us afterwards or anything like that?" It was just, I just felt that I could have. I really could have, but I just feel that it's just best to. We had a nice lunch. We walked away, and my mom left the lunch feeling really good, really happy. She even said it was such a nice lunch and it was so nice to see her sister. And, so I guess that if that's all that comes out of this, then great. That was the important part, that my mom felt good about it, that she left the luncheon happy. And what else could I ask for? I have my own feelings. Believe me, if my aunt had called me and started talking to me about things, or, I don't know what I would say or do, just because I still have feelings that are hurt. And I feel that there are things that should be said But what's the point? What's the point of getting angry? And because I feel as if I don't respond in the way that I want by letting her know all the feelings I have, then there's still a slight ability to be able to make sure that she keeps my mom up to date about things that are going on with the family, good or bad. And that's what I want. As for me, I can say I'm at peace. I'm at peace with the decisions I've made to shut that door. And when a text comes through, I will respond kindly and nicely. But I really don't think that there is a relationship that will bloom from this, sadly. Um, I have a really small family, so I had hoped that maybe something would come out of this, but I don't think it will. And that's okay. I have my mom, I have my husband, I have my son. My husband has a sister in his family. Um, so I'm okay with that. And I have great friends, and that's how I move forward. Um, so that's what happened, and it's it it's okay. It really is. It's okay. And no bridges were burned. It could have been scorched earth, and it wasn't. So that's good. And like I said, my mom was happy, and that is the result of the lunch with my aunt. So I know I said it was a cliffhanger. It was not as an exciting ending to the story as maybe some of you had hoped, but I'm at peace with everything that happened. So, with that said, there is a song that has been following me around that is not a new song. So I've heard it on the radio at least 2 or 3 times recently. It was on a TV show or a movie, I don't remember which, that I was watching with my husband. And it's one of those songs that's just stuck in my head. So if I wake up at 3 in the morning, it starts playing again. And it is Shadowboxer by Fiona Apple. I love Fiona Apple. I think she's amazing. Um, Gosh, she back in the 90s, that was my girl. I loved her so much. And Shadowboxer is a great song. Um, she's also recently in a collaboration with Iron and Wine, and I love that song too. So I'm kind of glad to see Fiona Apple coming back out. You know, you don't really hear about her that much, but even if she's just doing collaboration, she is an amazing singer, and we all need to hear her voice. So, the song of this episode and this week is going to be Shadowboxer by Fiona Apple. So, if you haven't heard it, if you haven't listened to her, check it out, have some fun, get a little moody, and I'll see y'all next week. Okay? Bye, guys. Love you. Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.